Hello everyone, in this tutorial I am going to show you how you can create REST API in Laravel. So I will start from the very beginning, step by step for beginners. So first of all, let's go and create a fresh Laravel project. So I'll create my Laravel project over here. So let me just open a command prompt here. Then let me just zoom in and we're going to say here Laravel new. Let's our project name will be Laravel API tutorial. Then press enter. So this will create a Laravel project for us. So right now I'll just fast forward the video. So here you can see the project creation is complete. So let's go to our project directory. We'll say here cd Laravel API tutorial, then press enter. So let's run the project php artisan serve. Let's copy this link. Then we'll go to our browser, then paste the link here, press enter, and this is our freshly created Laravel project. So right now let's just show something using our API in Laravel. So first of all, let's go and open the project using a editor. I'm going to use Sublime Text. So I'll just click open folder, and here my project name was Laravel API tutorial, this one. So here first of all, we'll just actually go to the route. Here you can see the route folder. We'll click on route, and inside route you will see api.php. So for writing API, we need to write every route in this api.php. So you will find it inside routes. Okay. So here we are going to say, let's say here route double clone. Okay, let me just copy this from the web.php. So I'll just copy this, Control C, and I'll paste this here. So here we'll say route get, let's say student, and instead of return view, we're going to say return I am from Laravel API, and indeed with that semicolon. If we now save this and if we go to our browser, then if we just say over here /student, then press enter, we'll get an error. So here you can see 404 not found. The reason is here whatever we write in the api.php, it will automatically add a /API before the route. So here our route name is student. So before this student in the URL, we need to add API. So here before student, we'll say API/student because it is in the api.php. So right now, if we just refresh or press enter here, there you can see I am from Laravel API. We get the message here. So right now let's call it using controller. So let me just go to my project directory, and let me just open another command prompt here, and let's just create a controller here. So we're going to say php artisan make clone controller. Our controller name will be student controller. Then we'll press enter. It will create a controller for us. There you can see controller created is successful. So right now we'll go back to our code, and here you will see we have a controller here, which is student controller. So first of all, in the api.php, we need to restart the controller name. So we'll say here use app /http /controllers /student controller. And after that, we'll come down here and we'll say here route get, the same thing, student, then comma to third bracket, we'll say student controller double clone class. Then we need to give a comma and we need to mention a function name. Let's say function name will be index. Give a semicolon. So right now we'll go to our student controller and create a function called index. So let's go to our app http controller, and here you can say student controller. So we'll say here public function index to first bracket to second bracket, and from here we'll say just return, let's just say something here, I am from API controller, whatever. Save this here, then here as well. Then let's go to our browser again. Make sure to always keep API/ before every URL. Okay, so right now if we refresh, there you can see I am from API controller. So right now what we are going to do is that we are going to create a table called student, and then we are going to call the data using API. So first of all, let's go to our command prompt and let's just create a table called student. So let's say here php artisan make clone model then our model name will be student, and we'll also create the migration. So -m, then press enter, and there you can see model name migration is created successfully. So right now let's go to our code again, then we'll go to our database migration, and inside migration we have student table here. So here we're going to set $table, it will be string, type will be string. Let's set the first one will be name, let's just make it nullable. After that we'll copy this and we'll paste it 2 times, 1 and 2. So instead of name, this will be, let's say, email, and this one will be phone. Save this, then we'll go to our model. Then here in the model we have student.php. So here we are going to add protected fillable. So we'll just copy this from the user.php. So let me just copy this from user.php and we'll paste it in the student.php. So it will be name, email, and we have one more field, and that is phone number. So we'll say here phone. Save this. So right now we can just close the model and the migration, and we'll just say in the command prompt php artisan migrate, then press enter. I haven't created the table, so would you like to create it? I'll say here yes, press enter, and it created a table and also migrated all the table in the database. So right now let me just show you the database table. So let's just refresh here, and my project name was laravel-api tutorial. Okay, let me just search it, laravel-api tutorial, this one. So here you can see the student table, and the student table is empty right now. So right now let's go and try to get the data from the student table using API. So for it, we'll just go to our student controller here, and instead of return I am from API controller, we'll remove this. And first of all, let's go and add the model, student model here. So we'll say here use app \models \student. So here we are going to set $student equal to, we'll mention a model name which is student _ all. We are trying to get all the data from the student table. And after that, in API we need to return a JSON request. So we'll say here return response, or not redirect, response to first bracket, this arrow sign, we are going to say JSON to first bracket, and here we are going to say $data, 200. 200 means a status, 200 means success. So here you can see $data. Now what this will represent? So we haven't write anything for $data, so we need to write here $data equal to, we'll keep to third bracket like this, and we need to end it with a semicolon. After that, here we're going to say status, it will be equal is greater than 200, give a comma, then here we're going to say student. Now this is just anything, you can mention here any name you want, but we'll just go with student equal to is greater than, and here you can see $student. So you need to copy this and paste this here, and no need to give any comma over here. You can write it like this, or what you can do is that instead of $data here, you can just copy this third bracket from here to here, and you can just paste this here, and you can just remove this. You can write it this way as well, but I think this is easier to understand for you, so that's why I write everything like this. If we now save this, and if we now call this URL student, what it will do is that it will get all the student data and return us a response with all the student data. So right now let me just show you. Let's save this here and here. So if we now go to our browser, then if we now refresh API/student, here you can see status 200 and student data is null. Student table has no data, that's why it is showing us this to third bracket only. So let's go and just insert a data in the student table. So we'll go to our student table and we'll click insert. Let's just say here name will be Yami, email will be yami@gmail.com, and let's give a random number here, then click go. So we have a on data in the student table. So right now if we refresh here, there you can see we are able to get the ID on name Yami, email. So instead of showing the data in the browser, the better way to check the API is using Postman. So right now we're going to see the API using Postman. So I already opened the Postman over here, as you can see. So right now, once you just open the Postman, you will get the basic view like this. Okay. So here, what you need to do is that you need to go to our api.php, and here you can see our route is get. So you need to set the method to get. Here you can see get, and here you can see the URL option. So in this URL, we're going to copy this and we're going to paste this here, API/student. And right now here you can see the send button. If we now click on the send button, there you can see it is showing us the data over here, student data, ID, name, email, and phone number. So we are able to see the API data using Postman here. So right now I'm going to show you how we can store or upload data using API in Postman. So right now I'm going to show you how we can store or upload data using API. So here, let me just copy this route and let's go and create a route for store. So route for store, it will be post. Let's say the URL name will be same. That's fine. And here instead of index, let's say here upload or store, whatever. So right now we'll go to our student controller.php, and here we're going to write the function called public function upload. So since this is upload, we need to say here request $request. Then we'll give to second bracket. So first of all, let's write the validation rules. So we'll declare a variable $validator, let's say, equal to, we'll say here validator double tone. And if you want to use validator, we need to use validator at the top. So we'll say here use validator, this one. So let's go down, and here we'll say may, and this v will be capital. So we'll give to first bracket, then we're going to say $request, this arrow sign will say all to first bracket, then we'll give comma, then we'll give to third bracket like this, and end it with a semicolon obviously. So let me just write it like this, and here inside this to third bracket, let's say we'll set the validation rule, name is required. So we'll say name, it will be required, and let's give a comma, copy this, then paste this here, and email will also be required. You can also add, let's say it must be an email, let's say phone number can be null. So right now we'll say if, we'll give a if condition, if this $validator fails, so arrow sign fails, then we'll come to this condition and we'll come to this if condition, and here we'll show a message. So we'll say return response, it will be a JSON request, obviously JSON to first bracket, we'll say $data, comma 200. So here for this $data, we need to write something. Oh, sorry, it won't be 200. Let's say it will be 422. So here for this $data, we're going to say $data equal to third bracket like this, semicolon, and here we'll say first status, it will be equal 422, and let's say message. Now what will be the message? Message will be whatever. Okay, we need to give this arrow sign here and here. So the message will be whatever we have message for the validation rule. So we'll copy the validation here, validation arrow sign messages, this one, and to first bracket, basically this. So it will return us the response with the validation rules of this. Okay, if the validation is fail, and if the validation is okay, then we'll go to else condition and we'll store the data in the student table. Then we'll say here, let's say $student equal to, we'll say new student. After that, it's just normal insert. We'll say student arrow name, it will be dollar request arrow sign name. Then let me just copy this, Control C, then Control V. So this one will be email, we'll say here email, and this one will be phone number. So we'll say here phone. So after this, we'll just say dollar student, this arrow sign, save. And we need to right now return a response. So we'll say return response to first bracket, this arrow sign, JSON, the same thing, dollar data, comma, it will be 200. So right now, we'll just say here dollar data equal to third bracket. Here we're going to say again status, it will be 200, and message, it will be, I forgot the arrow sign again, message, it will be data uploaded successfully. So right now let's just save this. So here in the api.php, here you can see the method is post and the URL is student, that's fine. And so whenever we are calling the post function, then it will come over here to this upload function, it will check the validation. If the validation fail, it will return a error message response, and if the upload is successful, it will return us the message data uploaded successfully. So right now we'll go to our Postman, and here let's just open new tab. Then here you can see on the left side gate, we'll choose the post option, and here from here I'll just copy this and paste the same thing over here, API/student. And right now if I click this send button, okay, it returns us with some error, I guess. So let me just copy this URL, Control C, and I'll go to my browser. Let me just paste this here, press enter. Okay, syntax error, return. Okay, I forget to give semicolon after the data. So let's go back to our code, and here is the semicolon, and here I missed the semicolon. Save this again. Let's go to our Postman, and let's just click send button again. Okay, the error is still there. Error class code validator not found in file in line 33. Let me check it. Line 33. Validator equal to validator make request to all. It's fine. Totally fine here. Okay, let me check. Okay, this view will be capital or smaller, validator. So let's save this. So right now let's go to Postman again, and let's click on the send button. And there you can see it is showing us a message that the name field is required, the email field is required. Right now what we are going to do is that we are going to upload the data in the student table. So for it, here you can see the body option. We'll click on body option, then we'll click on this raw option. Raw, and here once you click raw, it will show you this option text. So we are going to choose JSON, and right now we are going to give to second bracket here. Then we are going to say here, let's say only name, let's say name clone. Here you need to give clone, and let's just mention name will be John Doe, John Doe. And here in the validation rule, we write name and email, both is required. So right now, if we just open our Postman, and without giving the email, if we click on the send button, it will say email field is also required. So here you must keep a comma over here. Then here we're going to say email clone to double quotation. Let's just say email will be john@gmail.com. Let's give another comma. Then let's also just keep the phone number as well. Phone, it will be, let's just say random number. And then here we're going to click on the send button. And there you can see data uploaded successfully, which message came from here. You can see in the else condition, we write message equal to data uploaded successfully. So right now, if we just go to the get method, here you can see. So right now in the get method, if you click on the send button, there you can see there is one more data here. You can see john@gmail.com, the phone number, and created an updated date. So right now let's go and check it in our database. So here let's just click on the student table again, and here you can see in the student table we have one more data here. So right now let's go and just add one more data using Postman. So here instead of John, we're going to say here Adam. It will be, let's say, Adam, whatever number, whatever it is, that's fine. And we'll click send again. And data uploaded successfully. Let's just refresh our get request. And there you can see we have 3 data right now. So right now I am going to show you how we can edit or update data using API. So for it, let's go and first create the route here. So we'll go to our api.php, and here let me just copy this, paste here, and we'll say instead of post, we'll say here for edit we need to write put, and let's say student/edit/ to second bracket we need to mention id here, and let's say it will be edit function name. Save this, and right now we'll go to our student controller and write a function for edit. Let's go to student controller. We're going to say here public function edit. We need to say here request, then $request. Then we also must need to mention a ID, then to second bracket. So first of all, we can apply the validation rule here as well, or you can skip it. Okay, let's just do the validation route. We are just going to copy it from the upload function. So we'll just copy everything from here, from this validation to up until the insert. Okay, from here to here. So Control C, and we'll paste it in the edit function. Control V. So validation rule will still be the same, but over here you can see student equal to new student. So we cannot say this. So we want to update a specific student. So we need to say here $student equal to, we need to mention the table model name, which is student, double colon, we need to say here find $id, this all. So it will find a specific ID and then update the data. And then here you can see data uploaded successfully. It will be updated. Let's say here updated successfully. So let's save this, and here you can see for the URL for edit, you must give put, and here you can see this is the URL for edit. So let's go to our Postman again. Let's open another tab, and here we're going to choose put, and we can just copy this from here, the link, paste this here, and we're going to say here /edit, and again we need to give / and we need to give a ID here. So here how many ID do you have? We have 1, 2 and 3 ID total. So here we need to give ID, let's say ID on, then press send option here, and here you can see, you will see the message, the name field is required and the email field is required. Why? Because in the edit function, here you can see, first of all, we are checking the validation, name and email is required. And since we do not give any name or email over here, so that's why it will return us this message. So right now we'll click on body and then raw option, this option, again text and JSON. So here we want to update the ID on user. So you can see ID on here. So what we'll do is that here you can see ID on equal to Yami, email is this one and phone number is this one. So let me just copy this from here, and we'll go to our put request here. Here you can see put. So first of all, we'll give to second bracket. Inside this, we'll just paste it, and here let's just say instead of Yami, we'll say here Yamin Shakil, and email will be yaminshakil@gmail.com. We'll only update those two data. And right now, if we click send option, here you can see data updated successfully. So right now, let's go to our get request again. And here you can see the name and email is this one. So right now, if you now click send, it means if we now refresh our page, here you can see for ID on name and email is updated. Okay, so this is how you can update data using API in Laravel. So right now I'm going to show you how we can delete data using API. So this is super simple actually for delete data. So let's go and first write the route. So let me just copy the route for put, then paste it here, and instead of put, in order to delete, we need to mention delete. Let's say we will use the same URL, that's fine. And instead of edit, we are going to say delete. Save this. Let's go to our student controller. And here we are going to say public function delete to first bracket. And first of all, we need to get the ID, obviously, if you want to delete something. And here we are going to say $student equal to, ensure the student model name, double clone, find $ID. Then we are going to say here $student, this arrow sign, delete. As simple as that. So right now we need to return a JSON response. So we'll say here return response to first bracket, this arrow sign, JSON. Just like before, we'll say $data, 200. And let me just say here $data equal to two third brackets, indeed with a semicolon. I always forget the semicolon for some reason, I don't know why. Here we are going to say here status equal to, it will be 200. Then we'll say here message. It doesn't have to be message every time, you can say any variable if you want. So message will be data deleted successfully. Save this. So right now what we need to do is that we only just need to write this for the delete, write this URL for delete. So let's go to Postman, let's open another tab, and right now we'll click on this delete option, and here you can see the route will be student/ed/id, only this one, the same as put, but we need to mention the delete over here. So here we can just copy it from the put option. From here, let's say we will delete the ID number. Let's me choose this one, ID number 3, Adam Doy, this one. So here in the URL, instead of on, we're going to say here 3, then click. There is another error on line 146. Let me check. 146 status. Okay, I forgot to give the arrow sign here and here. Save this. Then let's just click send again. And there you go. Data deleted successfully. So if you go to the get request again, and if we now refresh, I mean click on send button, there you can see there is only 2 ID right now. ID 3 is deleted. So this is how we can create API in Laravel. I hope this tutorial was useful to you. If you have any question, you can let me know in the comment section. And if you want to learn more about Laravel, then you can see the video on the screen. You can check them out if you want. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I really appreciate that. And I hope to see you in the future tutorials.